Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be sharing some breastfeeding tips and essentials. Trust me, I almost threw in the towel in the beginning because it was so difficult, but I powered through the tough part in the beginning, and then breastfeeding was a super breeze after that, and I went and breastfed for 18 whole months. So here to share the tips that you need to know. We'll be going over the most difficult thing about breastfeeding in the beginning, which is the latching, the best breastfeeding positions that works for me. It was the easiest way to breastfeed, and then some other breastfeeding tips and tricks in between, and then we'll touch on the essentials that will help you during this breastfeeding journey. And if you're interested in learning how to increase your breast milk production, I made a whole video on that. I'll link it below for you guys, and I even wrote an entire blog post on that, so I'll have all that information below in the description box. And a quick disclaimer before we start: I am not a medical professional, so please consult your doctor if you need to. This is just my personal experience that I'm sharing with you guys, because sharing is caring. After giving birth, breast milk usually takes about 2 to 5 days on average to come in. So if you're a first-time mom, it usually comes in later on, like around the 4 or 5 day mark. But if you're a second-time mom, third-time mom, it usually comes in sooner, around the 2 or 3 day mark. For me, as a first-time mom, after I gave birth, milk didn't come in until the 5th day. So while I was waiting for my milk to come in, we actually supplemented with formula for my baby during that time. Breast milk comes in 3 stages. So the first stage is colostrum. Colostrum comes in the first few days after giving birth. It's very little amount, a few drops to a few teaspoons at the most, and they come out and they look yellow and very thick consistency. So you might have heard liquid gold. This is what they're referring to, because gold is the yellowy color, and they refer to it as liquid gold because it's very, very high in nutrients and antibodies for your baby. So very important to give your baby some colostrum. Then it will be in stage 2, which is the transitional milk. It's the middle stage between colostrum and mature milk. So it'll have a mixture of like the yellowy color and the white color. So the consistency is a little thinner than colostrum, but still thicker than the mature milk. And then on average, going into the second week, you will go into the breast milk stage 3, which is the mature milk. So it should look white, a little more watery and thinner than the transitional milk. Sort of looks like skim milk. So there are 2 parts to mature breast milk. So when you first start your nursing session or pumping session, you have foremilk. So foremilk is more watery substance, and it has higher lactose content in it. And then after nursing for like about 15 minutes or so, then you'll have hindmilk come in. And hindmilk is the fattier content of breast milk. So they're both equally important. Just wanted to note that, because when you're nursing, you should nurse for at least 15 to 20 minutes on one boob before switching to the other boob. Because sometimes if you switch too soon, then baby's not getting the hind milk, which is the fattier content of the milk. So like foremilk and hindmilk, it's a very gradual change. You can't even tell, baby can't even tell, but you can tell when after you, let's say, pump a bottle. If you store the milk in the fridge, you'll see the fat content separate. So you see all the hind milk, the fat, float to the top, and then the bottom is foremilk. So again, foremilk and hind milk are all important, but just note that the longer the feeding, the more fatty content they get, the longer they'll sleep, because their tummy is full and happy. The hardest part about breastfeeding as a first-time mom is the latch part. So it's a huge learning curve for not only mom, but also for baby, because when babies are in the womb, they're not really exercising their jaw muscles, so they don't know how to open their mouth wide to suck on the boobie. And as a first-time mom, you don't know the position, you don't know the sensation, like you don't know the right feeling of when baby is actually latched correctly to your boobies. So you just gotta be a little patient. It's a huge learning curve for both mom and baby. And even if you're a second-time, third-time mom and you know how to breastfeed, every baby is different and every baby has a learning curve. And of course, some babies might have underlying medical conditions like tongue tie or lip tie, which a pediatrician should be able to point out. So just keep that in mind, because that's a possibility. A huge misconception when breastfeeding: you don't just put the nipple in their mouth. You need to put the areola, as much boobies as possible in their tiny little mouth. So if you think about it, if their lips are on the nipple alone, like this, to suck on it, there's really not much sucking that can come out, because the lip just the lip muscle isn't strong enough to extract and suck out the milk. But if they put their entire mouth around the areola as much as possible, then they can use their cheek muscles, or I think it's called buccal. I don't remember my anatomy and physiology course like 10 years ago, but the cheek muscles are a lot stronger than just their lips. So that way they can really suck and express the milk out. Just for an example, these are my pumping parts. These phalanges cover your entire areola, or as much as possible depending on how big your areolas are. Pumping parts don't just attach to the nipple, they attach around your nipple and around the entire areola to really pull that suction out as much as possible. So keep that in mind when you're trying to latch your baby, that as much of the areola as possible in their mouth will ensure a better latch than just the nipple part. A huge thing that I had no idea about before breastfeeding was that breast milk does not come out of just one hole. Your nipple has multiple holes, and what I mean by holes are milk duct openings. On average, a woman has about 4 to 20 different milk duct openings. The female human body is amazing. So you don't really see that when you're nursing because the baby is covering your nipple and areola. But when I was pumping, I would look, because it's clear, I would look down at one point, I would see like 5 holes shooting milk out. It's crazy, but it's awesome because, I mean, I felt like I was, milk machine over here, cow over here, milkmaid, whatever you want to call it. If they're only sucking on your nipple, that's going to be very painful. Your nipples are going to crack, bleed, all that stuff. So get as much of the areola in as possible. And once you get the latch right, it won't hurt. So when things don't feel like it's right, just relatch, just break the seal. You can break the seal simply by putting your finger in the corner of baby's mouth and then just break the seal, and then reposition yourself, put baby in a different position, and try relatching. It'll click instantly. Like, you'll feel the difference when you have the latch correctly. It'll be much easier later. It'll come very natural to you. It's going to be very painful in the very beginning, like the first couple weeks. Again, I almost threw in the towel. Didn't think I would nurse much longer, and I ended up nursing for 18 months. What is letdown? Letdown is just a reflex, a letdown reflex, that your milk will just start coming out. Once they start nursing, there will be milk coming out, like slowly dripping. Just like when you first start pumping, it starts coming out slowly until after like 10-15 minutes and you're very, very relaxed, then your hormones will just send all these brain signals, and then you'll have like a letdown. So when you have a letdown, if you're pumping, you'll see that a bunch of milk will start expressing out. Instead of just like shooting out a little bit, it'll start coming out a lot. So that's how you know when you're having a letdown. You can also feel the sensation of just a bunch of milk coming out. And while you're nursing your baby, you can hear them gulp fast. When you have a letdown, it usually is on both sides of your boobs. Even if you're just nursing on one side, it happens on both, and then you'll start leaking on the other side. So just make sure that you're holding your baby upright and they're not in like a very flat position, because once they have a lot of milk and they're trying to chug this letdown, you want to prevent them from choking. So another helpful tip when breastfeeding a baby is to anticipate their feeding time. Like, anticipate when they're about to be hungry. So a newborn fresh out of the womb will need to feed every hour, through the day, through the night. So yes, you'll be a zombie, but yes, that's how it is. So again, like I mentioned, if they have longer feedings, they can sleep a little longer than an hour. Over the next few weeks after they're born, then they'll start sleeping longer because they're having longer sessions. So then you'll be nursing probably every 2 to 3 hours after that. And then obviously gradually, as they get older, they'll sleep longer, so you have a longer break in between. So the reason why I want to say anticipate their feeding time is it's much easier to try to latch and get in position with a calm baby than a hangry baby, because when a baby is hangry, they're just screaming, crying. It's like hard to calm them down. So when they're in a calm state and you know it's time for feeding again, just give them the boobies. So a way to get them to open their mouth is to rub their cheeks right here, and they'll start to open their mouth. Have them near your breast, because babies have a great sense of smell. They smell where the milk is. They know who their mama is. So having them close to your boobs and stroke their cheek a little bit, and they'll know to turn over and find the boobies. So when nursing, I don't set a timer like, okay, you get to nurse for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that's it, max. I let them feed until they're happy, but I do switch from boob to boob to make sure that I'm draining both boobs out equally so that I don't get clogged up on one side. But usually I nurse for about 15-20 minutes per boob. After one boob, I sit baby up, give them a little burp, let them digest, and then switch to the other boob. Again, I don't use a timer to like stop breastfeeding, but I do use a tracker to know like how long I've fed baby for and when the next nursing session will be. And I'll talk about the apps in a second. So babies tend to drift off into sleepy land once they're nursing because it's just a very comforting session for them. They're relaxed and they're filling their tummy up. And some babies can fall asleep within like 5 minutes of the start of nursing session. And you're like, hello, wake up, you need to finish eating. To keep them awake, I would just like play with their fingers, play with their toes a little bit, to kind of like keep them awake so that they're still eating. The longer they feed, the longer they'll sleep, and make sure that they'll get their hind milk, which is the fatty content, in. There are several breastfeeding positions. I lowered the camera so that I can show you guys with this baby doll. So a cradle position is literally the most typical position that you think of when breastfeeding, and first-time moms usually try this. This is the cradle position, just like you're cradling a baby, putting the mouth to the boobies. Then there's a crossover or cross cradle position. So similar, baby is still in a cradle position, but you're using the opposite arm of the booby that you're feeding from. So baby will be feeding from this one, but you're using your arm to hold the baby like this to feed. This is the cross cradle or crossover position. Then there's a football position. So, you know, when you see running backs holding a football, they're holding it right here tucked in. That's how you're holding your baby. Like this. Like a football position. Sorry, this doll is very stiff, so I'm being a little aggressive handling this baby. So this is the football position where you hold them like you're holding a football. And then there's a laid back position, which you're sitting in a chair or couch or whatever, and you're laid back. I guess I should turn to the side to make it a little easier for you guys. Oh my God, I am so pregnant, you guys. But this is the laid back position, just like this. Another position is a side lying position. I'm not gonna lie down here, but you're basically lying down on your side and baby is side to side with you. So tummy to tummy, and you don't have to hold the baby because you're on a bed. Those are the main breastfeeding positions that I'm aware of. There's probably more out there, you just have to Google it. But the positions that work best for me, the side lying position, because it is so easy, so effortlessly, you just lie down on bed on your side. So when you're doing the sideline position, obviously you have to take some things into caution, that nothing should be around you and baby. No pillows, no extra sheets, no blankets, no throws, any of that, to avoid any kind of accidental suffocation in case you fall asleep or whatever. Just be sure that everything is clear. And my other favorite position is the laid back position. So what I showed you earlier when I was leaning back and holding baby, you're literally just like leaning back, just put baby directly on you like this, and it's so easy. They just latch. All you have to do is hold them like this and they just do their thing, and you know, gravity helps with this. My daughter loved this position. So all the other positions are great as well that I mentioned earlier, but whatever you do, just make sure that you're bringing baby to boob and not boob to baby. Because if you bring your boobies to baby, chances are you're going to be hunched over like this all the time, and then you're going to have neck and back pain like crazy. So make sure you're in the right posture and good position, and bring baby to boob, not boob to baby. And another thing to note when you're nursing is to not let baby turn their chin up too much, because that's uncomfortable. And when their head is turned, to make sure that it's not all the way turned, but the more tummy to tummy facing with you is the more comfortable position to put them in, so that they're not getting a neck cramp or like all that stuff. Again, make sure that you're breastfeeding evenly on both sides to prevent clogged milk ducts, because if you have clogged milk ducts, it can lead to mastitis, which is an infection. Then you have to take antibiotics, you're gonna get a fever, all that stuff. So try to prevent that. I had a few clogged milk ducts here and there, but it's some at-home remedies to get rid of that. If you guys want to know more about that, comment below. I'll be happy to put together a video on how to prevent getting mastitis and ways to unclog milk ducts. just at-home remedies. Other tips to mention, just remember to hydrate a lot. You're expressing a lot of liquid out of you, so you need to replenish yourself with all these fluids back in. So hydrate a lot. Have a water bottle everywhere in the house, you know, where you usually sit and nurse or where you pump, just everywhere. And make sure that you're eating a well-balanced diet. You don't need to go on a diet or anything. You can have a burger if you want, have fries, whatever, but just make sure you're eating a bit of everything, because whatever you're eating is what baby's eating. So you want to make sure that baby's having a good, well-balanced diet as well. So the whole, you know, after you give birth, bounce back, you know, body pre-pregnancy, don't even worry about that, because the whole eating for two thing really applies to after you give birth, not while you're pregnant, because while you're pregnant, baby is very small in there. Yes, you'll be consuming more because you're hungry more often when you're pregnant, but after pregnancy, you should be eating more while you're breastfeeding than you were when you were pregnant, because your baby is here, it is out, it is bigger than they were in the belly, and they're growing very fast, and breast milk is their primary food source that's coming from you. So if you're expressing all this out, you need to replenish your body back, because I was so hungry all the time when I was breastfeeding, more so than when I was pregnant. So eating for two really applies to when you're breastfeeding. In case you guys didn't know, breastfeeding burns a lot of calories. So those are the main tips that I wanted to share with you guys. And now we're going to talk about essentials that helped me when I was nursing, and hopefully it'll help you as well. So the app that I use is called Baby Tracker. And I love this app because not only can you track how long your nursing sessions are, you can also track pumping sessions, when the last feeding was, how long it was for, the amount that you pumped, because you can't really count the amount of milk baby is getting when they're nursing, but you can track that with the pumped milk. And then you can track your baby's everything, like how many wet diapers, how many poops, how long they slept for, when was the last feeding, when was the last sleep session, all that stuff. So some of these are important to document, because your pediatrician will ask you this, and you know, new mom brain, you're not going to remember all of this off the top of your head. So when you have this app, you just pull it out and there you go, simple. Another important essential when nursing is a breastfeeding bra. They're also called nursing bra or maternity bra. And let me tell you, once I started wearing these maternity nursing bras, I haven't worn a regular bra since. Like all those expensive Victoria's Secret bras, yeah, done. I'm done with them. I don't touch them anymore. Like all I use are these comfortable maternity nursing bras. They're truly comfortable. Everything mentioned will be linked below for you guys, but I think I got these off Amazon, and this one is fuller coverage, as you can see, but so comfortable. These snaps just come right off like this, and then you just pull it and then pull it, you know, easy access to your boobie real quick. Full coverage, which was helpful when the boobies were like super engorged and I needed support. These were very helpful and comfortable. And then I also got similar ones. So these are a little less coverage, still pretty good coverage, but they have more of like a plunge deep V here for when you need to wear outfits that have like a little lower cut. So these are also a good option as well. And they all came in sets of 3, I believe. I've been rocking these like maternity and nursing bras for the past couple years and still wearing it now that I'm pregnant again. It's gonna be that way until I'm done having babies and done nursing, or get a boob job or something and need a bigger bra. Side note, after breastfeeding for 18 months, my boobies are not the same anymore. No. So yes, I've thought about boob job and I have no shame about it, because yeah, my boobies are not the same anymore. This pillow here is called My Breast Friend. I love this pillow. This was very helpful in the beginning, especially as a first-time mom learning how to breastfeed, learning how to hold a baby. So this comes with a buckle back here. You buckle this together to keep it secure. There's a little pocket here in case you need to put like a bib in here, or cloth, or nipple butter, nipple cream in here. Very convenient. All you gotta do is put this around you. All right, my big pregnant belly is in the way, so it's kind of hard to show this to you guys, but essentially you just wrap this around, buckle it up. I can't buckle it up because my belly's too big right now, but baby, when you want to do the cradle position, here you go. This pillow helps, especially if you had a C-section, so you're not putting too much pressure on your belly, but very easy to hold baby with this. So again, cradle, cross-cradle, and football position. So very useful pillow for these positions. There's another pillow that I also use called the Boppy pillow. This pillow here, I don't like it as much as my breast friend, but some people do like this better. So again, you just put the baby here, same thing, same concept, cradle, cross cradle, football, like this. The only con about this is sometimes the baby can kind of slide down a little bit. Doesn't feel as secure as my breast friend pillow. But this is a multi-purpose pillow. You can use this later for them to play, tummy time, and learn how to sit with this pillow. So I mentioned earlier about cracked nipples, sore nipples, dried nipples. It'll happen especially if you're trying to learn how to latch in the beginning. And there are some nipple cream and nipple butter to help with that. This has lanolin in it, which really helps soothe the cracked nipples. So you just need to put like a little pea-sized amount on your nipples, rub it in, and it feels so much better. Same thing with the nipple butter, also does the same thing. I love them both. I have them both because I'll have one like in the diaper bag on the go, and then I'll have one at home. I use them both interchangeably. They're great, and they both don't require you to wipe it off. It's safe for baby, but it's up to you if you want to wipe it off before feeding baby. But these are so helpful when you have those cracked and painful nipples. Another thing that I don't have on me are soothing gel pads. So, you know, your booby is going to be very painful. So these gel pads, you just stick them on, and it's just like a cooling sensation that really helps. So sometimes cooling sensation helps people, but sometimes warm sensations feel better for some folks. So you want to do like a warm sensation remedy, just dip your boobies in like 2 cups or 2 bowls of warm water. Give your boobies like a little warm bath. And not only will that feel much better, it'll also help stimulate your like milk ducts, milk, like kind of circulating it and get it going. And I mentioned earlier about leaking. So these are nursing pads. Instead of getting your bra all wet and stuff, you just tuck this into your bra, and then it'll catch it. And then these are easy to clean. You just throw them in the washer and clean it. Let's say you go to work or you're out doing errands and you can't get to feeding right away. Sometimes your boobs will be really engorged and start leaking. So instead of getting your bra and your shirt, your top all wet in public, put these suckers in and they will suck it up. So yeah, pretty much. So that way you're not having leaky boobies out in public like that. But when you're nursing, you know how I mentioned earlier that you will be leaking on the other side when you're having a letdown. Milk is precious, especially when you're in the beginning, when you're really trying to like save up some milk. Instead of letting it just leak and go to waste, catch the milk. These are milk catchers. Catch the milk. So let me tell you, this milk saver, let's say you're nursing in public so you can't take off your bra completely, you just tuck this in. There's a hole in here for your nipple. So you just put your nipple in here and then tuck this to your bra, and then the milk will start filling up. And that's how you catch your milk when you can't take off your bra completely. When you can take off your bra completely, Haka. I love this thing so much. I've used this so much, you guys. This Haka, it's just a suction. So you just put it to your boobie, squeeze it, and then let go of it, and it'll stick to your boobie. So when you're nursing baby on this side, you'll be leaking on this side and catching the milk here. And then, you know, switch babies and put it over here. You'll have milk saved up, put it in a bottle, put it in the fridge, and you know, you have milk for baby, for someone else to feed if you can't nurse baby the next session. And then speaking of nursing in public, another thing that was useful for me was this nursing cover. Obviously optional. Some people like to cover up, some people don't. I personally like to, and I've used several different nursing covers, and I hate it because it was so hard. This one, so easy. It kind of looks like an apron, like a cooking apron. This is the belt to adjust it to your size. All you have to do is put this over your head like that. That's it. Here you go. It's very breathable, very lightweight, and there you go. So simple. You just nurse baby. The others, I had to like fumble around, try to squeeze my arms through, my head through. Yeah, it took forever. And another thing I like about this is there's a little pocket inside here. So if you need to stick anything in there, nipple cream, nipple butter, extra tissue, whatever you need, bib, it's all in there. And obviously very compact, easy to fold up or crumble up like I'm doing right now. and put it in your diaper bag. So those are all the tips and tricks on breastfeeding that helped me and hopefully should help you guys, and the essentials that I've shared. Again, everything mentioned will be linked below in the description box. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this video was useful. If it is, please give it a thumbs up. If you want me to talk more about how to prevent mastitis or unclog your milk ducts or anything other related mom stuff, please comment below and let me know. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.